Hi everybody. Just a quick update on the grow along video we took a couple weeks ago. So if you remember, Izzy had sown some seeds on the 3rd of February, and I'm now going to prick those out. Um, we've had these growing in the vermiculite for quite some time now, so ideally these should have been pricked out much sooner. But we're just quite busy here with everything else going on, so we didn't quite get round to it. But they're quite big and they're healthy, nice looking seedlings. So as I said, Izzy had sown these on the 3rd of February, and today is, I believe today is the 26th of March. So a good amount of time has passed, um, and we're going to get these into some compost. So if you remember, we sow our seeds directly into vermiculite, and this allows us to take the seedlings out, which I'll show you, with a good really strong root system because you're not damaging the roots because the seeds germinate within the vermiculite and it's not a lot of soil there or anything to kind of get the roots tangled. So they come out really nice and free, less likely to damage the roots. And then we're pricking out into directly into compost that I've got some slow release fertilizer in there. We use a product called Fertile Fiber, which we sell on our website as well. It's not a full endorsement of them and their product, but we've just been using it since we went peat free after having tried lots of other commercial varieties out there. And this is the one that we seem to work best and comes the closest for us in terms of growing chilies uh, compared to all the other peat free varieties out there. So I'm not endorsing their product. It's just that we use it and we find that it works really well. And we sell it on our website because other some of our customers who use it as well are happy to use it and it works well for them. So I've got a dibber and I've got some seedlings here. At the moment, I'm going to prick out some prematali seedlings. I believe these are red prematali. And what I'm going to do is, you may not see exactly, but I'm going to just literally hold the pot of seedlings and I'm going to tip it out on the side. And because it's just pure vermiculite, you can just see there how loose that just falls apart. And what that allows us to do then is once it's been tipped out, you can quite easily grab hold of a seedling, and I'm only holding one of the leaves, and you can see there the entire root system has come out really, really easily without having to damage any of the roots. And I'm making a hole in the compost in the cell, and I'm just going to seed that seedling in, planting it a bit deeper than it was growing originally, just to allow it to grow some extra roots further up the stem. And chili seedlings do tend to do that. They will root from further up the stem. You're not obviously sinking the plant too deep in and burying it too deep, but you're allowing it to have a bit more compost come up against the stem, which just helps it root in a bit more. And again, I'm grabbing another seedling from the clump of vermiculite. I've got two there, and look how easily that comes apart without any roots being damaged. So you're not having to worry about pulling seedlings apart. And this pot of seedling only had about 10 seeds being sown at that time. But as you've seen in our other videos, there's instances where we will sow close to 100 seeds in one of these cells, and even that many seedlings still come apart really easily. So what I'm going to be doing is just pricking these out into these little cells, and they're going to be growing on. As I said, today is the 26th of March, and they're going to be growing into these cells for quite a number of weeks before we either pot these on into big pots or directly in the ground. Most of our crops that we grow are directly in the ground, and we'll be taking these cells individually and then planting them out. So once I finish pricking these out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a label in the tray, and then I'm going to give this a good water. And what we like to do is, even though it's a nice sunny day and it's warm, we still like to ensure that we water the seedlings with nice, warm, lukewarm, room temperature water. Because what we don't want to do is shock these seedlings. If I was to open the tap now, the water coming out of that tap is going to be really cold, probably 5 to 8 degrees. And whilst that's not going to kill the seedling, it's going to set them back and it's going to just weaken the seedling and they'll have to recover from that shock. So we might as well just boil a kettle, or if you're doing it at home, just open the warm tap and water seedlings in with nice warm water. What I should say as well is when Izzy sowed these seedlings on the 3rd of February, what we try to do is when we start watering in the seeds for them to germinate, we actually don't just water with pure water only. We put a small amount of fertilizer in there, and we use Chilli Focus, and we use a really, really diluted amount. It's probably close to sort of 5 milliliters per about 8 liters of water. So it's really, really diluted. It's only 8 liters because the the sprayer that we use is 8 liters. So you can kind of divide it and work that back to what it'll be for 1 liter. But a really diluted amount, which means that when the seeds germinate, obviously the seeds germinate with the nutrients and the sugars within the cotyledons inside the seeds. But as soon as they germinate and the seed leaves, the cotyledon leaves come out, and the roots go down, it will start looking for nutrients. And this vermiculite is, one, it's inert, and two, it has no nutrition. And the water that you feed from the tap has very little nutrition, if any at all. So we try to water in with a very, very dilute amount. So when the seedlings germinate in the vermiculite, they then get a good head start. And we've been watering them in with roughly that same amount since. So the healthy growth that you see at the moment is only coming from that very mild solution that we're applying when we do water. And then once they go into these trays, like I'm doing now, we're then going to water these in with a slightly stronger mix of fertilizer, closer in line to what a mature plant will get, just to get these pushed on now. And then these are going to be watered, and then they're going to go into one of our heated benches. If you're doing this at home, and you obviously may not have a heated bench, you prick out your seedlings if you're following along with us, and you put them into your small 7 centimeter pot, whatever it might be. You then just put it on a warm, sunny windowsill and give it that chance to grow on in a warm environment. Certainly don't put it out at this stage in an unheated greenhouse. Even though it might be nice and sunny outside during the daytime, because we're getting good weather at the moment, nighttime temperatures are pretty low. I think tomorrow is forecasted to be about 1 degree. So it's really cold still for very what are quite small plants still. So if it goes into a heated bench or a nice warm windowsill, that has a good chance, the best chance to sort of grow on really healthy from there. So I hope that gives you an update of where we are with these seeds that were sown back in February, and now they're being pricked out. What we'll do is we'll show you what these look like when they are now mature plants in their cells, ready to go out in the crop tunnels. Well, thank you for that. See you next time.